My name is Izzy, I'm 17, and I'm a Peace Ambassador for NVEEE. Being suicidal and being that depressed tends to kind of force you to isolate yourself. So suddenly, I cancel plans with friends because I just don't feel the need. It's kind of the thing where it's like, well, I'm probably going to be dead next week anyway, so there's no point of hanging out with them. Or I just don't have the energy to hang out with people because I'm so depressed and I just don't want to go. And I want to go, but I can't. It just feels that the depression or the feeling of just why do it, because I don't want to live, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in life. Getting good grades, and this was also junior year too, just making sure that I needed to be perfect for everything that I had to do when applying for college and focusing so much on my future. And I felt that there was nothing that I could do. I felt that it was kind of hopeless for me to keep trying because I was so overwhelmed, I was so stressed, my grades were slipping, and I felt that I had no hope to moving on to being a successful person. I thought that I could never get into any of the schools that I wanted to go to, so I didn't really see the point in living if I wasn't going to achieve any of the goals that my parents and that I wanted for myself. There are a lot of times where I just think that because I don't feel like I'm going to get into the schools that I want to get into, that my grades just aren't going to be good enough for those schools, or that I'm not doing well with friendships, and I'm losing relationships and that kind of thing, that it gets very overwhelming, and just why bother, why live, that kind of thing. I usually can talk myself out of thinking that way, that I can remind myself that I've made it so far, that compared to 3 years ago when I really did think that there was nothing better, and then I moved on and I kept growing and changing, that obviously things do get better. But when I get down to a low point, when I get that depressed, it's very hard for me to talk myself out of it. Usually talking to someone and just spending a few hours with someone who can just listen to what I have to say and just be there for me and support me usually helps me calm down and talk myself out of it, and that kind of thing, to talk myself out of that cycle of thinking that nothing is going to get better. Art definitely helps me a lot. Being able to express my feelings, with a paintbrush, with a pencil, on a canvas, definitely has helped me so much. It's just a different outlet. Exercising, just running until I can't even think about what I'm feeling anymore. I can't focus on that anymore because I just want to run 3 more miles, or talking to people, spending time with people who are positive, who want to help me, who care about me, definitely helps me because it makes me feel like I'm not as alone as I thought that I was before. So alone, and especially when you're talking to someone who understands what you're going through and can relate and tells you that they care about you, it makes you feel like there is hope and that you can overcome what you're doing, because there's people who care about you. Yeah, I've attempted suicide twice. The first time I tried to bleed out by cutting myself too deep, and I thought that I would just bleed to death. And the second time I attempted to overdose on a collection of pills that I had gathered over 2 or 3 months. I was Baker acted both times. I've been Baker acted 7 times because of self-harm and suicidal ideation. The times that weren't suicide attempts that I still ended up in the hospital, it was because I needed help, and my parents picked up on that, or that I went to people and I told them that I needed help, and that's how I ended up in the hospital that many times. But those 2 times that I actually did attempt, I did end up in the hospital. What a parent might call a child being lazy, when they don't want to get up out of bed and do their chores or do their homework. A parent might think that that's just their child being undisciplined or lazy, or that they don't care about good grades, but they might not know that their child, it's not that they don't care, it's just that they're depressed and they don't feel that it's important for them to do what they need to do because they're suicidal and they're gonna, attempt, who knows. So sometimes it's a lot bigger than just my child is lazy or they're just being a teenager. It oftentimes extends a lot farther than that. Is if your teen is making a lot of jokes or talking a lot or writing about or drawing or making art, music, etc. about suicide, about death, about not living. You can also tell if they are depressed, if they're withdrawn, if they're not as outgoing or bubbly as they used to be, or if they suddenly start giving away objects that used to be really important to them, or if they start acting reckless, like taking drugs, being promiscuous, reckless driving, that kind of thing, where they just seem to act like they don't care about their well-being as much anymore. For parents, if your child feels that there is no one there to talk to, you have to make yourself available to them and tell them, I'm here when you want to talk, and that there's no shame in not being okay, and there's no shame in feeling that way, that they can feel that way, and that there are solutions for those problems, for feeling that low. Being a part of NVEEE actually helps me a lot because it makes me feel like there's things that I need to do that are beyond me, that there's bigger things in the world than just me, specifically my problems. There are people that depend on me to help do certain projects, certain missions, that there's stuff going on. There's people who depend on me to go to meetings, and help others, and I can't just let them down because I'm not feeling well. I have to be there to help.
It's hard.